What's up, Speak For Yourself listeners? It's your boy Shay Sharp, co-host of FS1's Undisputed. I wanted to tell you about my new podcast, Club Shay Shay, where we always do something before two something. Each week, I sit down with a guest for a drink and conversation, and as host and proprietor of Club Shay Shay, I've welcomed in esteemed guests such as Snoop Dogg, Floyd Money Mayweather, LeVar Ball, Isaiah Thomas, just to mention a few. Whether I'm talking to an athlete, a musician, an actor, or a lifelong friend, Club Shay Shay is a place where people share inspiring and motivational stories about their journeys to prominence. The new episode drops every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to Club Shay Shay now and make sure you never miss a new episode. Now, back to Speak For Yourself.
Welcome to Speak For Yourself. That Jay-Z cough. Because I'm looking good today. Marcellus Wiley up here with this tie blending into this crispy Joe.
You couldn't even let me compliment you, big guy. It was coming.
Oh, it was coming?
Okay, yes, sir.
What's your name again? Emmanuel Otto looking amazing again. All right, give me my props. Come on.
You look good, big dog. You look good. That's it. That's all you
That's
get.
corny.
That's all you get.
That's first day of school kind of compliments. Give me some more than that. All right, let's get to our top story. Delivered by Pizza Hut. Order today at pizzahut.com like I did last night. All right, the Chiefs capped off their third straight AFC title game appearance last week, turn a trip to their second straight Super Bowl. KC can do something that has not been done in a long time, repeat as champions. The Chiefs can become the 8th franchise to repeat, and the first since, ironically, Tom Brady's Patriots back in 2004. So, Acho, do the Chiefs need to win this Super Bowl to enter the dynasty discussion?
No, sir. They're already in it. Marcellus, contrary to popular belief, we don't have to in life just go with the trends, right? The current trend is like, no, you got to win 5 straight to be a dynasty. That's not the case.
Oh, okay.
Bro, all the dynasty is, it's a hereditary ruler of a country, right? So simply put, you have to rule a country. The Chiefs are already ruling the conference now. You feel me? Like, they've been ruling the AFC for a hot minute, for 3 years. Whoa. Yes, you lost an AFC championship 2 years ago, but then last year you won it, plus won a Super Bowl. You won the AFC championship this year. You're already representing again. So a dynasty just talks about ruling a domain. They might not necessarily rule the whole domain of the NFL if they don't win, but they already rule the domain, their domain of their specific conference right here and right now. So I'm not going to get lost in the sauce of, well, you got to win back-to-back to be a dynasty. Bear in mind, the Patriots only won back-to-back one time, 03-04. They were still a dynasty. I consider them to be a dynasty over that whole 18 years. I don't just talk about them having 2 dynasties separated by their first 3 and their second 3. I think the Patriots dynasty, that span lasts a long time. But if we're talking in truth, then truth should be able to transcend sports. Right? If it should be able to move from one sport to another. A truth is always a truth. So when you think about the Warriors, they were still a dynasty before they got KD, sir. When they went and won the chip in 15, but then went to the chip and lost after being up 3-1, nobody was questioning their dynasty effect. But even if you think beyond the Warriors, because that's such a low-hanging fruit, you think dynasties, you go Warriors, maybe you go Heat with LeBron, maybe you go Patriots, you may go Cowboys, early 90s. But do your homework, people, because who was really a dynasty in basketball in the 2000s? The Spurs. Spurs won in 99, won in 03, won in 05, won in 07, then backdoored and won again in 14, 5 in 15 years. The Spurs actually winning 18 straight years of 60-plus games. They were a dynasty. Now, that's not just because I'm from Texas, because I'm from Dallas, so your boy was rocking with the Mavs. But I can identify greatness even if it's in my opponent. So coming back to football, because truth can transcend and hop from one sport to another. If I come back to football and land the plane back in the sport in which we're talking about, the Chiefs do not need to win the Super Bowl to enter the dynasty discussion. They already there, big dog.
I wrote more notes to respond to what you were saying than I've ever done in the A block.
You should take notes when I speak.
You should. You're
when
right.
I speak, you should take notes, sir.
I'm not even going to think that's a bad thing, but I am going to question what you just said to America. Where do I start? Do I retort first? Do I just go to my notes first? I got ammo, I got fire. Let's go. One, they're not a dynasty right now. Presently speaking, they're not a dynasty. You can't use their situation of being one championship win and potentially 2 losses as dynastic. Now, let's say they win 2 back-to-back. You're going to tell me that's a dynasty? How many dynasties, let's just guess. How many dynasties do you think there have been in the NFL? over the years?
I'd say 5.
5. Okay. Okay, let's talk about teams that have won back-to-back Super Bowls. Since you said there's 5, back-to-back Super Bowls, there have been 18 teams in NFL history to make it to back-to-back Super Bowls. 18. So is it 18 dynasties? No. Oh, you got to win. Okay, so now let's talk about the teams that have won back-to-backs. Oh, there have been 8 teams that have won more games than the Kansas City Chiefs over this 31-game span that you always want to talk about, how they only lost really 1 game and it was to the Raiders. Oh, so Acho crossed that one out. Oh, let's talk about the teams that have made it to 3 straight conference championships like them. Oh, there have been 15 of those. How many you say dynasties? 5? Oh, so we got to cross that out present day right now. Anything else you want to talk about, Acho? Oh, let's talk about the teams that have won back-to-back Super Bowls. 8, but you said there's only 5 dynasties. Oh!
I guessed 5. I didn't say 5.
Hold on, but did you?
How many on top of your head?
Didn't I hear you say,
5.
do your homework, people?
I guessed 5.
Do your homework, people.
Well, how are you classifying a dynasty? Because you're asking me a subjective question.
Now.
And my answer is my subjective.
That question at the bottom was asked to both of us. I'm just answering it my way.
Please.
And please don't tell me the Spurs were a dynasty when they didn't even win back-to-back championships ever. Oh, okay. So let me give you something right here, Acho.
That I want. You ain't giving me nothing I want right now.
I'm going to give you this. Were you in the league in 04, 05?
No, sir.
Let me get, okay, you weren't. And I remember playing against this team that won back-to-back Super Bowls, and they won 3 out of 4 Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. And not a single soul was saying dynasty at that time. You know what that team was called? New England Patriots. They weren't a dynasty then. You know what? Even if we give the win to the Kansas City Chiefs, they're still not a dynasty. They're what we call a vestibule. You know what that is? You know how to say that? Vestibule. I didn't say vegetable. I said vestibule. You know how to say that? Okay. You know the difference? I had a house in Dallas. Dallas is cheap.
It is. It was.
It was. Oh, it was? It's
now
not that cheap?
change, big dog.
God, I'm so glad I got there early. Look, I had a vestibule. I had a corridor. I had a hallway before you even got to the house.
Okay.
And that's the definition of it. This is the Chiefs entering the hallway before they even get into the house, which we call the dynasty. They won't be there even with a win. But right now, present tense, hell no. Do you remember Joe Montana when he was playing and not a single soul in this world said he was the GOAT until after he stopped playing? And then people looked back retroactively and said he was the GOAT. Tom Brady just got the GOAT status by winning the second 3 championships, not the first 3 championships. Connect the dots for me in the present and even give the Chiefs this 1 victory to give them back-to-back Super Bowls and tell me they're still a dynasty.
They don't need, Marcellus, it's not as though you must win back-to-back Super Bowls to be a dynasty. Like, that's not what's imperative. Think about this, because I got a full screen, because I did do my homework. And again, I was just guessing 5, guesstimating it, but you could come down and look at further numbers.
Okay.
Chiefs have won 79% of their games over the last 3 seasons, with 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl wins. If you look at the list of teams that have done so, you see the Chiefs, you see the Patriots in there, you see the Broncos, you see the Niners. You see some teams that have been on the cusp of being a dynasty. I am not going to take away your ability to be called dominant or a dynasty because you don't necessarily get the ultimate trophy. You said off camera, and I'm about to tell on you.
Here you go.
Because off camera, I asked you about your beloved Buffalo Bills.
What you say?
Went to 4 straight Super Bowls and win 1. I said Marcellus Wiley. Would you consider the Bills a dynasty? And you said, I would. I wouldn't necessarily get in that argument, but I would. That's what he said off camera.
He lying.
That's what he said.
Not really,
and
but...
So, with that being said, the Bills were dominant for 4 straight years. They didn't necessarily win a chip. But if you go to the Super Bowl...
You saying the Buffalo Bills on record right now were a dynasty.
Years.
That was a dynasty.
I think they can make a conversation, and they didn't even win 1.
Oh.
Now you're talking about a team that actually has won 1.
Now,
what's the argument? There really is none.
Now you about to make me look bad in my second home, but since it's home, it's okay. They still gonna love me. The Buffalo Bills weren't a dynasty. They were that close to being a dynasty if they could have pulled off some victories when they got to the ultimate game, but they didn't. You said that you have to be dominant. You have to dominate your domain, as you said.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so if you dominate your conference, you're a dynasty, according to Acho. What about your division? Forget conference. Why stop there? Dominate your domain? That can't be the definition of a dynasty. What needs to be the definition of a dynasty is being dynastic. That means no matter who shoots at you, they all will fall. This is a situation where even if Tom Brady was to spot Patrick Mahomes this victory, he would say, oh, that's cute. You won back-to-backs. I did that before, a long time ago. Oh, you know what else is cute? I won 3 or 4. Oh, you haven't done that yet. Well, you know what else is cute? I won my 3 or 4 starting in my 3rd year like you're trying to do, but you still haven't gotten there. And you know what's even cuter? That I actually won 3 in 5 years in the latter stages of my career. Maybe let's go 4 out of 6. It's going to be insane when you talk about Tom Brady. But let's talk about these teams that you think are dynastics just because they kept putting themselves in position. How about the 2011, 12, 13 49ers? Remember them? Those 3 straight conference championships? Dynastic, according to Acho.
Super Bowl
appearances? 1. But how many did they win? None. So this is a situation where you're talking about now, this is the ideal that I want you to understand.
What's that?
It's a hypothetical, but it could be ideal for my argument. Patrick Mahomes could lose this game.
Okay.
And then that will be in 3 years, you've been to 3 straight AFC championship games, and you've been to 2 Super Bowls, but you only won 1, right? You heard it. 3, 2, 1. 3 championships, 2 Super Bowls, 1 victory. Why didn't you win all 3? Oh, because you know what? The first year I saw this guy named Tom Brady. But guess what? The second year, he was in decline, and somebody else sniped him, the Tennessee Titans. And then the 3rd year, saw him again, but guess what? It was in the Super Bowl, and he got me again. How are you dynastic when the guy who is holding the crown as being the dynasty king, the king of dynasties, the KOD right now, how are you in a dynastic conversation when Tom Brady is still not only doing what you have done, but doing more than what you have ever accomplished if you're Patrick Mahomes?
Marcellus, it's because being a dynasty is not black or white. You can't draw a line
it's racial
somewhere.
now. It's racial now. This month he gonna pull this card.
It's shades of gray and not 50 of them. Marcellus, look at it like this.
Let's go.
You can't say that the Golden State Warriors were a dynasty because they won 3 out of 4, but the Heat weren't a dynasty because they won 2 out of 4. Because then what's your mark? Is it 2.5, over, under 2.5 is what makes you a dynasty?
Was the Heat a dynasty?
The Heat were consistently great for them 4 years. You went to 4 straight, you won 2 of them joints.
That was more of a question.
But I'm hearing you. Say that, like, we can't draw the line and say, nope, you got to win 75% of your appearances to be a dynasty.
But can we say at least you got to win more than you don't?
That's fair.
Well, then the Chiefs, if they lose, that's not winning more than you don't.
I said that is fair, but I'm going to. I said that's fair. I didn't say that's true. I said that's fair. There's a big difference.
I love you.
Fair.
I love you.
Bro, if you were telling me you won 26 out of 28 games, Patrick Mahomes, you won. Right now, he's won, I believe, 25 out of 27. So even if it goes 25 out of 28, you own the NFL. Everybody shows up and they are scared to play you. Like you talked about when I said, is Barry Sanders the greatest of all time? You said, ask any defender that had to play him. If you show up and you are scared to play this Chiefs team, they own the AFC, they go to 2 straight Super Bowls, you don't have to win back-to-backs. Again, you got to go back to this. Let's go back to this for a second.
Oh, my goodness.
You can't tell me, and I have to go back here because this is where we have a pivotal disagreement, that a Spurs team that literally won 5 out of 15, Marcellus, won every 3 years the Spurs were probably going to take if my fractions are right. You can't tell me that that team is not a dynasty because they didn't win back-to-back.
You know what's happening in this world right now? Because everyone's feelings are leading the charge in terms of their logic, that I'm not going to win this debate. And I don't want to win this debate. And I certainly can't win this debate by having examples and analogies. I'm going to say that the Spurs weren't a dynasty. Now, I'm going to cut myself off from that conversation and bring it back home to this situation. And I'm going to bring it back home to a sport called football. And looking at the Washington football team, as we call them now, but we didn't call them that then in the 80s, when they were running them off. You remember when they went to 3 Super Bowls in 5 years? And not a single soul around said that they were a dynasty. That's interesting, because you want to know true dynasties? Let's talk real dynasties. Let's just start with the proper definition I think we can agree upon. Okay. You said 5. Let me give you 5. 1970 in the Steelers. 4 Super Bowl wins in 6 seasons. Is that a dynasty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. The 80s, 49ers, 4 Super Bowls in 9 seasons. Would you call that a dynasty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. 90s, Cowboys, 3 and 4. Yeah, everybody. Now we starting to like definitely a dynasty. Patriots, 3 and 4. Yep. Patriots, 3 and 5. Okay, where are the Chiefs in that conversation right now? Because even if they go 2 or 3, even if they go 2 or 3, no one in this conversation so far has made it past that threshold with just 2.
Well, big dog, you got to do the math with it, because what you are neglecting is whenever we talk about anything in life, we project.
Yeah.
You bring in a new talent to a network, I'm projecting how good they're going to be.
You that.
You look at a stock, you're projecting where the stock is going to do. When you look at a team and their dynasty potential, you have to project. That's what we're doing right here and now. That's what we did with the Warriors. Like, I'm I'm not even making nothing up. With the Warriors, man, they won 73 games after winning a chip.
And lost.
Sure, correct. But they won a chip in 15, then you win 73. They lost. We understand that, but we're projecting, man, Clay's still going to be here. Steph's still going to be here. Draymond's still going to be here. Steve Kerr's still going to be here. We didn't even know at the time they was going to get KD. But we were like, this team is a dynasty. Before they had ever become that, we said, you're the greatest team of all time by record, and you won a chip the year before, and you went to the chip. There's projection involved. So when I'm looking at this Chiefs team, I'm saying AFC Championship, then Super Bowl, win. Now Super Bowl appearance again. I'm projecting, like you said with those Niners, 4 out of 9. The Chiefs are already in 2 straight. So I'm not saying they're going to win 4 straight, but I'm saying that this team is already in the dynasty discussion.
No, they're not in the discussion because that 4 of 9 can go that way or it can go Buffalo Bills style where it could be just 4 and what had happened was, and you keep losing to the same guy. Look, I'm not upset at the projection. I'm just upset that I don't hear loud enough the correction when people are saying a team is dynastic before they are. I actually put the label on you after you have earned that. I don't put the label on you in hopes and forecasts and projection.
Can I ask you something? This is going to get good because you love track and field. I love track and field. Right now, we're talking about collective entities as being dynasties, a team being a dynasty. The Patriots dominated, the Cowboys dominated. Can we talk individuals for a second to try to get more pure with this conversation?
You mean to help you win this conversation?
No, because I'm interested in engaging. I'm going here. The best sprinter for men over the last 2 decades was Usain Bolt.
Yes.
The best for America was Justin Gatlin.
Yeah.
Justin Gatlin never beat really Usain Bolt, but he was the best in America. Yeah. Do you neglect his dominance because he didn't necessarily beat Usain Bolt? Do you neglect like the rule he had over the country of America because he didn't beat Usain Bolt? Because I think that's where I'm delineating. Yeah. The Chiefs are still dominant. Yeah. Even if they don't win this Super Bowl, they still have a rule over a conference.
Well, the reason the track example doesn't work for me in this respect is because in track, you know, they travel, and there's too many interconference games. Let's just say, every time you say, Justin Gatlin in there? Oh, damn, Usain in there too. Never mind. Okay, Justin Gatlin going? Oh, damn, Usain again. That's the problem with that one, and he always kept them wearing the silver, just being respectful. But this situation is different. I'm looking at it like Patrick Mahomes. Brady already beat you on the road to a Super Bowl. And it's funny, a lot of people don't bring that up because Patrick Mahomes wasn't in the Super Bowl. But Brady kept them out. This will be 3 straight Super Bowls. Oh, but because of Brady. And then what if you lost an opportunity because of Brady, and now you actually lose in the game because of Brady? But let's say they win this game. I still don't say that's a dynasty. I just told you 8 teams in NFL history won back-to-back Super Bowls, but we're only saying there's 5 dynasties. So even within that, those 3 teams that didn't make that threshold for whatever reason, I don't think that you can now squeeze the Chiefs in there or put them ahead of some of the other teams that don't even qualify. By the merits, big dog. What you're doing is you're enamored by Patrick Mahomes. You're enamored by this team, and you just think they're just going to keep winning when the record has shown they're not even that.
I will say this. I don't think just because you win back-to-back, you are a dynasty. What's up with the 3rd year, the year prior or the year after?
This is their 3rd year.
Think about
of greatness.
I'm saying this. Let's go Lakers 08-09. 08-09, they went back-to-back. Would you have said that the Kobe's year,
Kobe
08-09.
and Gasol?
Yes,
okay.
08-09, they go back-to-back. Would you have said that was a dynasty?
Hell no, and it wasn't.
Exactly. So just because you win back-to-back.
Exactly. I'm agreeing with you because that's my point.
No, because I'm saying this. I'm factoring in the fact that the Chiefs still went to the AFC Championship. Then the next year you go to the Super Bowl and win. Then the next year you win the Super Bowl again. Then the next year you ain't losing none of these pieces. So I'm saying that just because you do win back-to-back doesn't inherently make you a dynasty. You got to factor in other things like going to the chip the year before, keeping Patrick Mahomes, keeping Tyreek Hill, keeping Travis Kelce, keeping Andy Reid. You have to factor in the whole picture, not just hoisting the trophy. That can't be the only qualification.
It's not the only qualification, but it's their best way of getting into this conversation, and that still is not enough. You ever seen the TV show 8? What is it? 8 is enough?
I know what you're talking
Remember
about.
that? Like some show before my time. 8 is enough or something like that. 8 teams have more wins over 2 years. 8 teams in history have more wins in the regular season than them. 8 teams have won 2 back-to-back Super Bowls and won them. 8 ain't enough, bro. Like, I'm just listening at this team like they're good, they're great, they're amazing, but they're not dynastic. Coming up at the top of the hour, Pro Bowl wide receiver DK Metcalf will join us. We'll ask him why teams were able to figure out his Seahawks. Oh, that's your question, Nacho. But first, we'll be joined by Ravens Pro Bowler Calais Campbell. Yeah. We'll ask him if he's confident they can win at Super Bowls with Lamar Jackson. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Hey, Speak for Yourself listeners. I wanted to tell you about our brand new Fox Sports app and website, foxsports.com. Reimagined for the modern sports fan. Go ahead, download the new app now. You don't even have to pause this episode. Every day on the new app and website, you'll see the top stories in sports, plus a rich world of written content, videos, social media, and analytics to give you a 360-degree view of the most important stories of the day. Streaming live TV has never been so easy or elegant. Every Fox Sports game, including all pregame and postgame shows, are just one click away. For the extra invested fan, we also go deep with real-time wagering lines, trending prop bets, win probability, and key player projections. So download the new Fox Sports app or visit www.foxsports.com.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Tom Brady is making his 10th trip to the Super Bowl, but his first to the Buccaneers. Now, Tampa won their 3 playoff games on the road, and Brady said earlier this week that raising the Lombardi Trophy would, quote, make for a really magical season. We started this conversation yesterday, but we ran out of time. I still got plenty left over.
You got some more?
So, Marcellus,
Yes,
let's
sir.
run it back. Can I get an encore? Because I'm on board. Would this be Tom Brady's greatest? Let me ask the question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Would this be Tom Brady's greatest Super Bowl? Would this be Tom Brady's greatest Super Bowl?
Yes, and it's unreal to even say that. But based off the expectations before the season and based off of the odds stacked against them by making the transition to becoming a Tampa Bay Buc, yes, this will be his greatest Super Bowl win. Think about it. I'm going to say this sentence again. I added a layer to it, too. Dun, 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 dun. Here's a story of an over-the-hill. I'm not going to do the rhythm. I ain't getting sued. An over-the-hill quarterback who goes to the worst franchise in sports history and becomes the first to play a home Super Bowl game in NFL history with a chance to win a 7th ring when no other player in NFL history has ever even played in 7 Super Bowls. Cut, paste, crop. Listen to that sentence again. It's insane. It's absurd. It's a cherry on top of a sundae that already had 6 cherries on top. How in the hell is Tom Brady doing this again? Renaming the state of Florida, because you're supposed to go down there to retire. He goes down to the state of Florida to put in more work and to widen the gap on the field, especially that young kid, because the GOAT has to have a kid. And the kid is Patrick Mahomes trying to come say, I'm back. You beat me in the AFC Championship game, but I got my hair cut now. This time I'm ready, Tom. Tom's just going to smack again. And if Tom gets his way, if the Buccaneers get a victory, Tom Brady once again is the kryptonite to Patrick Mahomes. Oh, yeah, this would be the greatest Super Bowl win.
Sal, speaking of Super Bowls, everybody has to think about their Super Bowl parties. Unfortunately, we can't have big Super Bowl parties right now because of COVID. But during Super Bowl parties, you know, people bring out the dips and the chips and the dips. The one I despise is that 7-layer dip.
Oh, you don't like that?
Nah, because it got one too many layers. Just like that takey.
Oh!
You added that one layer.
You don't like that?
And I ain't like that layer you added, Marcellus.
Well, don't come over my house then. You're disinvited.
I'm going to say this. It's going back to that Super Bowl against the Atlanta Falcons 2016. I said it yesterday, but I wanted to expound on it.
Yeah.
The reason this year has been so impressive to so many is because there was a limited offseason. Because of COVID, offseason workouts were cut short. Training camp was cut short. Now, I understand this wound was self-inflicted by Tom Brady, but remember 2016, he was suspended. So the first 4 games of that season, he wasn't with a squad, wasn't throwing them passes, wasn't in the facility, wasn't participating in team activities. Then he jumped in. You remember, Big Dog?
What?
Double Dutch.
What you mean? 3rd place in the 3rd grade.
Hey,
only boy out there, too.
The rope going. And you got to come.
Hey, what you doing? Hey, tangles, twisties.
It's so much harder to double dutch than it is to jump rope yourself, because double dutching, it's already moving. Jump roping yourself, you get to dictate the movement. Tom Brady had to jump in, jump out. In the middle of that 2016 season, jumped in to go 11-1, 28 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, likely would have won the MVP if not for the suspension. GOAT to the Super Bowl against the actual MVP, Matt Ryan, go down 28-23, 9 minutes left in the third quarter, and you come all the way back to win. I don't think we've seen a more impressive feat on a more impressive stage than that right there, big dog. From a double Dutch champion, you should know best.
Well, third place. I ain't gonna lie, them other two girls sniped me, but still, I was the only boy out there, and I got that. Hey, you don't know nothing about double Dutch. First of all, you can start just in the middle. Go, girl. And then you also could do it with just two people. Tied up to the pole. Let's go. I've been all those places. But speaking of that, let's go somewhere else and move on to one of the top defensive football players in football. Ravens defensive lineman Calais Campbell, 6-time Pro Bowler and the current Walter Payton Man of the Year. He'll be presenting that trophy on Sunday in Tampa to the new winner. Calais, my dog, welcome to Speak for Yourself, big man.
What's up, fellas? How we doing?
That's all I wanted to hear, that man talk. All right, Calais, settle the debate for us right now we were just having. Would this be Tom Brady's greatest Super Bowl if he were to win?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, I heard the argument, and I was kind of, I got to side with myself on this one, Emmanuel.
Come on.
Because, this right here, at 43 years old, given the way the season went, like with just going to a new team during COVID, which I experienced, it's hard to do, and having to kind of learn a new playbook, a new way of football with new coaches, and then to go on the stage and actually compete against Patrick Mahomes. If he beats Patrick Mahomes on this stage, after they won it last year and the way he's looked, I know this year it's kind of been some ups and downs, but it's still Patrick Mahomes, man. This will be the greatest feat if he wins it.
Calais, I got to put this on record because people don't know, you my dog for real. You a groomsman in my brother's wedding. He been to Nigeria with us. You family. Let me ask you, bro. What you still playing for? You got 92 sacks. You 6'8", 315. I know your body hurt. What you still playing for? You chasing the Hall of Fame or what you got left?
Bro, I need a ring, man. I need to be playing on Sunday, but I'm hurt that we didn't get a chance to get there. I feel like this team had the ability to get over the hump and be that one that gets to the Super Bowl. But, I got one more chance next year, man. One more year on my contract in Baltimore, and I feel like we got a squad that can get it done.
All right, Calais. Well, sitting on 92 sacks, which is 48 more than I ever had in my career. How badly you want to get to 100, and what would it mean to you? Because chasing that ring sometimes is impossible for people to catch.
Yeah, man. See, I just got done with a workout, because, you don't really get an off season when you get to our age, trying to still play this game. So I'm always grinding, and that's why I'm still sweating a little bit, But, I got to get to 100. I got to, man. That's something that would mean a lot to me. Ever since I was a kid, I started, I chose to play the end, and that was a goal of mine. So I got to get there before I retire, too.
I respect it. Now let's talk collective, big dog. You joined the Ravens this past year, dominant on defense, explosive at times on offense. But what limited the Ravens from playing in this upcoming game, the Super Bowl on Sunday?
It just seems like it wasn't our day, really. I think I really feel like we were the better team when we played against the Bills in the divisional round. But they made the plays to win the game. We had our opportunities and we just didn't make enough of them, and I can't make excuses. At the end of the day, man, I wish I was playing there, but we didn't get it done. So all I could do is look forward to next year, and put the work in.
Okay, man, you're on one of my favorite teams to watch because my favorite player, Lamar Jackson, is your quarterback. With that said, Calais, I need you to give me a scouting report, and it should be in depth because you get to see him every single day. Give me the greatest attributes he has and the things he needs to work on.
I'll tell you, he's 24, just scratching the surface of how good he can be. I think he has great vision. He has a strong arm, and he can put the ball. He makes some throws in practice where it's like, wow, that's all pro quarterback.
Look like Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills didn't like that last response. Y'all are better team to do. There we go. Calais, you back with us?
Oh, yeah. You lost me for a second. My bad. I'm over here. I was giving a report.
We run our satellite feed through Buffalo. They didn't like that last response about y'all being better, so you got to do it again.
Nah, I was saying that Lamar, he can make every throw. You see it in practice, and he puts the ball right on the money. It's an all-pro quarterback throw. And then there's times where he makes decisions. It's like, okay, he's still young. He still has a lot of growing up to do. And that's just, that's part of being 24 and a quarterback in the NFL. He ain't going to see it all the way, every single time. Even Tom Brady, throws interceptions and stuff. But I see, when I look at Lamar, I see a guy who can make every single throw. And as he continues to get older and start seeing defenses, start understanding the weaknesses of defenses, and he starts winning pre-snap, he's going to be a great quarterback in this league. He already is, but he's going to get even better.
No question. Well, you're my dog, so I'm going to ask you the hard questions, big bro. We've never seen a quarterback that scares defenses more with their legs win a Super Bowl. Mike Vick got close. He went to a conference championship. Cam Newton got even closer. He went to a Super Bowl. But why do you think that Lamar Jackson can be the one to buck a trend that we've never seen get debunked?
Yeah, those guys are great players, and I'm never going to knock any of them because, I played against Mike Vick. He's a spectacular talent. I played against Cam Newton multiple times, and, he set the rookie record in passing yards against my team, when I was his first game of the season back in, I don't know how many, it was a long time ago. And then, but with Lamar, I see Lamar as the guy, man, he has a great arm, and he has a, great understanding of the game. He loves the game. And I felt like as he continues to develop, he runs the ball well, and he picks and chooses when he wants to run and beats teams with his legs, which you just got to do. He has that talent, got to use it. But I do see his ability to throw the ball. I know we don't do it much, but he's going to continue to get better at it, man. And I really feel like, I hope that next year is our year, but he's going to have a chance to win a few, by the time his career is over.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot of the development of Lamar Jackson, who is still one of only 2 NFL players ever to win a unanimous MVP, but no player can do it alone. So what is the missing piece for the Ravens? Elite receiver, defensive pass rusher? What does Lamar need and the Ravens need to get over that hump?
I think, our front office does a really good job, man, and I feel like they have a good understanding of what the team is and what the coaches need. Honestly, we lost so many coaches this year. I'm not even sure what our coaching staff is going to look like. It seems like everybody got promotions, which is a good thing. It goes to show that we've been doing something right the last couple of years. But I felt like, at the end of the day, we're close. Obviously, we could use some more help on the O-line. We could use a big body receiver that can go get that ball. Where on defense, I would love to try to keep as many guys as we can. We have a lot of free agents, so I think the number one thing we need to do is keep as many guys as we can, bring them back, because our defense, we got rolling towards the end of the year.
Big dog, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Lamar Jackson's Ravens, 0-3, if I'm not mistaken, against the Chiefs. In order to get to the Super Bowl, it looks like you're going to have to go through KC at some point in time. Where are they better than y'all, or why are they better than you all right now?
Ooh, you're asking tough questions. Let's go. Okay. I think that, it's hard to beat the Chiefs at their game. I don't think anybody can beat them at their game. You might get a couple teams that you play really, really stout defense, but Mahomes is, he can do it. He can do it all. He can drift back in the pocket even when you come with a scot-free blitz, or even if you beat your man clean, he's still hard to get to him. And you got to respect that. I think, where we can do better, though, is, just what we try to do, and it didn't work this last year, but I think it will eventually, is keep him off the field by running the ball, and making it where he only gets, maybe 5 or 6 possessions. If we can make it like that, and then of those possessions, we hold the field goals a few times and, a couple stops, maybe a turnover. I really believe we have the formula that it takes to beat him. It's just, at the end of the day, it's one thing to have the formula to do it, another whole other thing to do it.
Man, loving the wisdom, loving the knowledge, the depth. Let's lean on you being a veteran of this league. And I know you got to be a fan of the game to be playing this long and playing this well. Let's take you to Houston with Deshaun Watson and his situation in terms of pro player empowerment right now and him wanting out of Houston. What would be your advice to Deshaun Watson as he goes through this process if you were his teammate?
Yeah, man. Well, if I was his teammate, I would try to keep him to stay. That's for sure. Come on, man. We can do this, man. I'm begging and pleading with him.
Yeah.
I played against him quite a bit, and the guy is a spectacular talent. He's one of the few guys I feel like that can carry a team. I know this year, he had spectacular numbers, and they didn't win a lot of ball games. But he put his team in position to have a chance to win. And you gotta give that respect to him. If I give him some advice, though, the end of the day, man, trust your heart, trust your instincts. So, but I do think that, he is a big presence in Houston, and, I know they can work it out and figure it out. I just feel like, honestly, that's a tough situation to be in. I'm glad I'm not in it. But I do know that he's a smart guy, and he has a lot of football left in front of him. And if a team does trade for him and they have to give up a whole lot to get him, I'm talking about 4 first-round picks at minimum. I think the guy is a spectacular talent. Then that would be a lot, and I think it might be worth it to a couple teams out there. But at the same time, no matter what happens, man, just play football, play for the love of the game, and make sure you leave your mark.
Man, I didn't play for a long time, Calais. So a question I always love asking the greats like yourself, 6-time Pro Bowl selection, 3-time All-Pro. I asked my brother who was one of the best players you ever played with. He said you. So I'm going to ask you. You play with Larry Fitzgerald. You play with Ty Matthew. You play with Patrick Peterson. You played with Lamar Jackson. Who's the most talented player you've ever played with?
The most talented?
Yeah.
Because that's different than the best.
It is. It is. Yeah. Give me both. Give me both.
Thank you, Calais. I go through that every day.
All right. Well, best, I think it has to be Larry Fitzgerald. You just to see the way he approached the game. He was my teacher, and really by example. He will come and talk to you a little bit verbally, but just the way he did things, you have to respect it. Every day he came to practice and ran every catch to the end zone. Practice full speed. And set a standard for the whole team. And then just off the field and stuff too, just the way he does stuff in the locker room, in the community. He was a great leader for me and the best player I've ever played with. But for the best talent, the most talent, it's hands down Lamar Jackson. I played with, Jalen Ramsey was super talented, Patrick Peterson, super talented. So many guys I played with that were super, super talented. But when it comes to overall talent and one body of work, it's Lamar Jackson.
Now, thank you so much. I'm going to cut that up and use that against Acho all the time, as he knows I love me some Lamar Jackson. One more time, I got to lean on you, veteran man, as an ambassador of this league. Talk to the youngsters out there, those who want to become NFL football players as prospects and those who are young NFL players. What's the key to your longevity, the key to that success?
Man, I think the first things first is treat it like a profession. Invest in yourself, invest in taking care of your body, invest in your rest, invest in just studying tape, your time. And I think the number one thing you got to do, though, is you got to outwork everybody else, man. There's no substitution for hard work. This game is plain and simple. The best players are the ones that work the hardest. I just talked about Larry Fitzgerald and his work ethic. He set the tone for me. But at the end of the day, man, everybody has talent. We're all gifted. We all were the best at whatever we did. But to be able to do it forever, man, to be able to do it for a long time, you got to be the hardest working person on the field.
Now, before we go, let's say this. Let's talk about your work with the CRC Foundation. Explain what you've been doing with them.
Man, it's been a long time coming. This is, we started it after my rookie year. And, we've done so many different things over the years from, after-school programs and just trying to do things to really help kids. I've given away a bunch of scholarships and, business grants and just trying to help people in need during these hard times. Lately, I've been giving away a lot of money to different organizations in Baltimore and Jacksonville and some of the places I played, where they are going to help people in need, find, the people who need the most COVID relief as far as, doing something with mortgages and just, groceries and all kinds of the little things that people need right now. But overall, the number one thing I was trying to do, man, is just create a legacy in my dad's name. CRC stands for Charles Richard Campbell. And to me, he passed away when I was 17 years old, but he left a legacy that I feel like needs to be heard as a man of integrity, with great character that went above and beyond to help his neighbor. And for me, he set the foundation for, going out in the community and making sure that we help people who are less fortunate, but really just help anybody who needed help. And for me, I just want people to know my dad's name and know what he stood for.
Man, Calais, well, I rarely get to talk to people who I'm as close with as you, big dog. So just want to say publicly, you're one of the best men I know, obviously one of the best players I know. We've done missions trips together in Africa. You're just one of the best people, a Walter Payton nominee. Kudos to you on all the success on the field, off the field. Stay healthy. Go get them 100 sacks. And I'll forgive you for giving Marcellus more ammo. Lamar Jackson, big dog. Thanks for joining us,
it's all love, baby. I'm just keep it real. That's all I'm gonna do, man. It's all love. Can't wait to see you, man.
Hey, good to see you, bro.
Love it.
Coming up, the Chiefs have won 12 straight when Patrick Mahomes starts. We'll tell you if we'd rather have his offense or Tom Brady's offense. That's next. Speak for yourself.
Hey, Speak for Yourself listeners. It's Charlotte Wilder here to tell you about my new podcast with Mark Titus called the People's Sports Podcast. It comes out every Thursday, and Mark and I take one of the big stories of the week, and then we go off on tangents you never saw coming. This might mean that we start talking about the Dodgers winning the World Series and end up wondering if Knicks fans deserve happiness. Or begin with LeBron's greatness and end up drafting our ultimate beer league softball team made up of old athletes. Whatever it is, the only rule of the show is that it has to be fun and funny, because these days we could all use as many laughs as we can get. So check it out wherever you get your podcasts and come down weird sports rabbit holes with us. We can't wait to have you. Now, back to Speak for Yourself.
Welcome back. Dark chocolate over here, huh? The Super Bowl will feature two of the top offenses in the NFL. Chiefs are averaging over 34 points a game in Patrick Mahomes' 7 career playoff starts, which is the best for any quarterback in the Super Bowl era. On the other side, Tom Brady's Bucs are averaging over 34 points a game since losing to KC back in Week 12, which leads the league. So, Acho, which offense would you rather have Sunday? Mahomes' Chiefs or Brady's Bucs?
Big dog, if I'm playing Madden, it don't matter, right? Like, both these offenses are amazing. But which offense on the field on Sunday? Give me the Chiefs, baby, because you got to talk coaching. You have to talk talent. You have to talk experience.
Coaching?
Yeah.
On the field? Coaching?
You already know it gonna matter now because when you wear the mic, Mike linebackers, you wear the mic, quarterbacks, you wear the mic.
54 Mike! 54 Mike! Omaha!
Your coach is talking to you.
Shut up,
until
coach.
that 15-second mark in a play clock, you hearing things from the coach. So when I talk about who has the better offense, those are the 3 factors. Coaching, experience, talent. Give me coaching. Give me Andy Reid over Bruce Arians. Experience. Give me 31 players on the Chiefs roster have won a Super Bowl to 4 players on the Bucs roster. Give me talent. Give me Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes. You can throw in Mecole Hardman if you desire. Yeah. When you talk coaching, talent, experience, Chiefs. The Bucs have a prolific offense, and the Bucs are dominant in the NFC to the degree, Bucs, Packers, Seahawks. But when you talk the whole conglomerate of it all, it's really... I don't know if it's an argument. I'm gonna end you with a stat because I give you some opinions, but I'm ending you with a stat.
Come on. Bring your stats. I have stats too.
The Chiefs, 7.9 big plays a game. Big play, rush of 10 yards or more, pass of 20 yards or more. Chiefs got 7.9 a game. That's second in the NFL. The Bucs rank 16th in the NFL. So the Chiefs can also bludgeon you short. They can hit you with the punches, but they can hit you with the knockout blow. Chiefs significantly and probably substantially better offense than the Bucs, even though the Bucs is good.
Boy, I love working with you, dog. I mean, you go to the plate against Acho, be prepared to hit the curveball because this sucker you make up criteria and then you say it and repeat it so it's defined. Coaching, talent, experience. You made those the criteria for Acho. And then you got to hammer it home, and I got to sit here and think that that's real. Well, it's not. I never thought I would be quoting Danny Amendola on this show.
What playoff Danny say?
Playoff Danny told me that it ain't about the coaches, it's about the players that play. So let me listen to Playoff Danny since he's Playoff Danny, and let's talk about the players, shall we? Acho, Calais Campbell warned you about this segment. He didn't even know he was doing it. He said, do you mean more talented or do you mean better? More talented is not better. The Chiefs are more talented. I would give you that. You got enamored by it. Who doesn't? They look faster, maybe bigger, stronger, all of that. The physical traits. But who's better? The Tampa Bay offense. Give me the Bucs. Uh-oh, Freud. Give me the Bucs in this situation. Who averaged more points per game during the regular season? Acho, who do you think?
You're asking me, so I'd assume the Bucs.
Oh, ding, 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 confetti. All right, what about the postseason, Acho? Who's averaged more points per game? Bucs or Chiefs?
38. That's probably.
I don't. If I'm asking you, I'm winning this one. It's the Bucs again.
It might be what 31 to 30.
Look, Acho.
See.
Acho,
what is it?
You know what? I'm not going to help you do your homework, Acho.
Because the Chiefs had 38 and 22, so that's 30. and the Bucs have scored 30, 31, and 31. So they average the same.
They don't average the same, as you wanted to highlight when you were talking about points per play. What'd you say? 7.9. Hey, Coach, how we get 0.9 to play? But you brought it up. The point is there is a slight difference. Oh, you don't trust me, Acho?
I don't trust you.
Okay, do you trust Pro Football Focus? A little more than me, but sometimes.
They made me all-pro.
You were
They said I was an all-pro special teams player. You best believe I trust them.
I know how to get to you. Ego first. Okay, let's see what the Pro Football Focus folks have in comparison of these two units. Running game. Who do they give the edge to in terms of grade? Chiefs or Bucs? Bucs. Passing game. Chiefs or Bucs? Bucs. Offensive line, even though there's been injuries to the Chiefs, which helps my argument, but even when they were healthy, Buccaneers. So what unit are you talking about in which you would rather have the Chiefs over the Buccaneers, unless you're just so caught up in the barbershop of Patrick Mahomes?
No, I'm caught up in this.
What?
Would you rather trust Pro Football Focus on this argument or someone who played in the NFL like you for 8-10 years?
I trust me, and we agree.
Correct.
We agree.
Let me get you, and let me get my opinions.
Okay.
You throw Pro Football Focus?
Okay.
Throw that out the window.
What about points per
we having
game?
a real conversation.
Okay.
Points
Real
per
stats.
game, round it to the nearest 10th. Okay? Round it to the nearest 10th, and it's going to be the same thing. Columbia going to try to get you.
Not during the regular season.
Don't let Columbia get you. I'll say this. What? First off, it's not even close when you think about how the Chiefs can make you pay. Chiefs can make you pay with Tyreek Hill. You can't single cover him. Chiefs can make you pay with Travis Kelce. Chiefs can make you pay so many different ways. The Buccaneers, Antonio Brown, he ain't even practiced all week, and he ain't played last week.
Oh, we're going week to week now.
Now you want to go Mike Evans. Mike Evans gets you touchdowns in the red zone. But don't try to compare Mike Evans to Tyreek Hill right now.
Oh, that's what we're doing.
Gronk is a beast historically, but don't compare Gronk to Travis Kelce, who was leading the league in receiving yards through 15
You keep saying the same
weeks.
two names. You got more receivers there.
I gave you three. Who? Three. I gave you Mecole Hardman, 2 now. Watch your mouth.
You don't trust him.
So here's my thing. I'm not going to trust the Bruce Arians. I'm not going to trust the Godwin right now over the guys on the Kansas City Chiefs roster. It'd be asinine. It'd be ludicrous.
Oh, God, he's going Stephen A.
It wouldn't make no sense to do that.
Look, you don't trust me or respect my opinion. You don't respect Pro Football Focus that watches more football than we do before we wake up in a day. But maybe you will respect this. Because you just gave me the receiving game and the passing game numbers, and you trust the Kansas City Chiefs and their receiving core over the Bucs.
Yes, sir.
It's interesting. There's only been one team in NFL history to have 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers that had over 1,300 yards in a season in their career. And it's not the Chiefs, brother. It's Antonio Brown. Check. Mike Evans. Check. Chris Godwin, don't sleep. And Rob Gronkowski, who came out of retirement, and I think you did sleep on him. Didn't you compare him to O.J. Howard this year? Trying to say he ain't do anything. 7 touchdowns in the regular season for old Gronk. Gronk is something special still, and he doesn't even get the respect he should in the running game as he's a big body, obviously a huge asset for him. Dog, by every metric I have given you, it's better for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They score more points. They have better grades in every single facet of the offensive game. The only thing I will give you, I will concede to you, is I'll take Andy Reid over Bruce Arians.
Has to.
Duh. Okay.
Better.
So if that was such a duh statement, why is it not a duh statement? The other team is more explosive.
Because you just took the most experienced coach so bad. You got 2 more.
It's not about experience. It's about prolific.
That's fine.
It could be in 2 years of Andy
Reid.
Reid.
The better coach.
Yeah.
I also am going to take the players that have won a Super Bowl over the players that have not. Antonio Brown ain't won a Super Bowl, coach, and he ain't been in a decade. Mike Evans, he ain't made the playoffs up until this year, coach. Chris Godwin, he ain't made the playoffs up until this year. Ronald Jones, he ain't made them. Leonard Fournette, he made them once. You can talk to me about the prolific running game of the Buccaneers, but they don't use it. So what's the matter if
they don't use it?
What happened the last time they saw the Chiefs?
Oh, I thought you were talking about this postseason. I thought you were talking about right now. They don't use it because right now, you know who leads all players in scrimmage yards in the playoffs? Leonard Fournette. So you saying they don't use it. I don't know when you talking about. Oh, you're talking about the regular season when the numbers support the Buccaneers once again.
I'm talking about when you go head-to-head, big dog. I'm talking about what happens when the Buccaneers have to see the Chiefs. Because some teams can make it change. Yeah, Marcellus, you know this.
Oh, like the Saints did to the Bucs? Oh.
Yeah, they did. That's an ancient argument. That's an ancient argument, okay? That's the problem with you. You got to gloat over Bucs from 2 weeks ago.
Bucs and Packers. Stomp them again.
Here's what I won't do.
What?
I'm not going to neglect Patrick Mahomes' 34 points per game in his 7 playoff games. I'm not going to neglect that, which is the highest scoring average of a quarterback in the Super Bowl era. I'm not going to neglect that. I'm not going to neglect Andy Reid's experience. I'm not going to neglect the fact that Bruce Arians, when he got to face a big dog like Andy Reid, he changes his ways. It's all nice and sweet when you're in your own category. It's all nice and sweet when you're talking to somebody in your own league. But just like you start to get to somebody out your own league and you start to stutter over them words, that's what happens with Bruce Arians and this playbook. That matters.
Does it matter? Since you don't want to ignore things, do you want to ignore that who stirs this coffee? Who stirs this offense? Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, yeah, Patrick Mahomes
for
on
you
that side.
and Tom Brady for me, right? Damn, I hate to do this to Patrick Mahomes. Did you watch the Super Bowl? I did. Did you see people talking about Jimmy G is out playing Patrick Mahomes? You didn't see that?
I saw Shakira.
You must have watched only the fourth quarter.
J-Lo.
You only watched.
I saw Shakira and J-Lo.
Everybody saw. Even married men saw that one. Jimmy G was out playing your boy Patrick Mahomes. But let's just go into totality what Patrick Mahomes did in that Super Bowl. Looks like his worst quarterback rating of all 7 games he's played in. His worst? Is because he started stuttering over his words? He forgot how to play football? Was Jimmy G the reason? Or was it San Francisco dawning defense? Whatever you want to say, the best of Patrick Mahomes was not at the greatest moment. It wasn't in the ultimate game. 78 quarterback rating in the Super Bowl. He's never had a rating under 80 in any other situation in the postseason. And then I look at his record, I see 6-1. Since you want to talk head-to-head and he has to look across the field, who's that won by? Is that the same quarterback he's going to see again this Sunday? Is that Tom Brady on the other side? It may be 6-2, and the only 2 we're going to talk about is that it was against Tom Brady. Brother, Tom Brady has a better offense surrounding him with more pieces. You keep giving me Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, then you get quiet, you throw in Michael Hardman just to be nice, but you don't really believe that. You don't believe, whatever he says. You don't believe that. I give you AB, I give you Evans, I give you Godwin, I give you Gronkowski. If we were sitting there right now saying pick a team, you know what you're going to pick. You're going to pick the team that is better, not just more talented. Welcome back. We're joined now by one of Russell Wilson's favorite targets, DK Metcalf. The Seahawks wide receiver had over 1,300 receiving yards with 10 touchdown catches and was selected to the Pro Bowl Beast. DK, welcome to Speak for Yourself, big dog, and we're going to get right into it. All right, you said this right after the season, that teams just started to figure us out offensively. Woo. Who's responsible for that, DK?
I believe the whole organization is responsible, players, coaches included. So I think we're going to make some moves this offseason and, fix it.
Hey, you obviously were slept on. I think 8 or 9 players were drafted ahead of you in the draft. Somebody got to make that make sense. 8 or 9 receivers. You still got that? How many?
Yeah. 9 receivers, 63 players.
Ooh, you remember the names of the receivers? You know them all?
You must got a chain of it or something.
If you want me to call them out?
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
All right. Hollywood Brown, N'Keal Harry, Mecole Hardman, Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, Calais Campbell, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and Andy Isabella.
Did you give us that in order that they were taken?
Damn.
No, I believe I stumbled toward the end of the second round.
Yo, the great players, they keep chips on their shoulders. So do you still have a chip on your shoulder because of where you were drafted? Or at this point, are you like, look, I'm DK Metcalf. We good.
Better recognize.
No, we ain't never good until I got a gold jacket on my back. So, yeah, I keep the chip on my shoulder.
No, talking about getting a gold jacket, you got game all around, but going deep seems to be the specialty, especially with Russell Wilson throwing that deep ball. But you said teams are not going to let you go deep. What did you mean by that?
2 high safeties. Teams started putting 2 high safeties and forced us to run the ball, something that we didn't do in the first couple of weeks of the season, and we just had to adapt.
My dog, you want to be great. You just said you want a gold jacket. I respect it. Russell Wilson, he was like, let me cook. Do you think there comes a point where individual accolades get in the way of team success? Like, did that happen to the Seahawks this year?
No, because I think, if the team has success, individual accolades is going to take care of itself. So I don't think individual accolades, we're creeping into the organization or into the team.
Now, 3 receivers had numbers comparable to you, 1,200 receiving yards or more, 12-plus touchdowns. Obviously, you're one of those guys. Does that make you an elite receiver? Do you think of yourself as a elite receiver?
I'm going to leave that up to everybody else. My job is to go out there and perform on Sundays to the best of my ability and just to play, like you said, with a chip on my shoulder and with the abilities that God blessed me with. So I'm going to let everybody else, put me in a category.
DK, you got to make something make sense to me, man. I seen your top 5 receiving list, bro.
1, 2, 3, 4,
I seen Julio. I seen you. I seen Hop. I seen Adams. I seen Diggs. You know what's crazy? He gave us 3 people tied for 5th because he was trying to be polite.
I thought he said we were going to be the ones that defined who was
trying
elite.
to be polite. He gave us Diggs. He gave us A.J. Brown. I think he gave us OBJ. But I seen you left Tyreek Hill off that list. What's up with that, man? What's up with that? Where's Tyreek Hill fall to you?
Hello?
That's all right. So that is a preference.
Uh-oh.
Top 5 is a preference.
Uh-oh.
Those are my favorite receivers. Tyreek Hill is definitely a top 5 receiver. If you can see it, I put mostly big body guys on it.
Okay, he got big body bias.
He got big body bias.
He got big body bias. In 2021, I thought we were cutting out our biases.
Yeah. Man, DK, since you brought up big body, it's well documented, and you can see, dog, you are a big body. Let's just say that, a specimen of sort. But in terms of working out and what you did at the combine, what you did in your pro day, what you did was on tape and still slept on. But talk about your workouts, your routine. What gets you prepared to look like that and to perform like you do?
Just go hard anytime you're in the gym, anytime I'm giving a workout during the off season. I'm always doing an extra rep or 2 because everybody doing 10 reps. So just trying to be different in every aspect.
I need a little more of a secret sauce, exercise you do.
You will not look like DK regardless of how often you lift.
It's your eyes or your mirror. One of them is lying to you because I'm closer than you think. Now, if I get this one secret exercise, are you doing something different that you can even tell a guy like me who can't catch up to you? But, you're putting in a little different work.
Just get it. Just give my number out sale. We can chat it up sometime. We can see what you're doing wrong.
Hey, DK,
Get that in frame.
He's doing a lot wrong, DK. It's going to be a long conversation.
Don't take my Cheetos from me.
Let me ask you this, bro, because everybody knows about the physical prowess and all that jazz, but you rock the neon hats. You got the Harris neon green. It might be pink, the earrings, the chains. What is it about your style that you also want to be different, and why?
You don't see a lot of big body guys or big guys dressing like I do. So I'm just different. I just do stuff my own way and carry myself in a different manner than pretty much everybody else.
Yeah, speaking of being different, warm-up catches above the crossbar, like, dog, that's just clowning people.
You're doing too much.
Yeah,
You're showing off. Stop showing off. Stop showing off.
First of all, look like a dual sport athlete right there, a little basketball in his life. But what are you listening to? What are you doing pregame? Why is this a part of your routine? And that is impressive.
I don't know, man. It just look cool. It get me ready. It get me in that mode that, all right, if I can go do this, then everything else is gonna be easier. If I can go, catch a deep ball over somebody's head or jump above the crossbars, they already scared of me of what I'm gonna do physically to them.
Hey, I was a college football analyst before this show, so I watched you in college, but there's a difference. NFL DK is different than college DK. I think that confidence is a big part of it, but you tell the rest of the world watching, what's the difference between this DK, which is super DK, if you will, and college DK?
I broke my neck. So I had to, self-reflect. See how I was going to make myself better, how I was going to make my life better. And, I was given a second opportunity for a reason. So why not make the most of it?
Man, we had my GOAT receiver, T.O., on the show yesterday. Obviously, it's a conversation between Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, and Randy Moss. Who's your GOAT receiver? Who's your favorite receiver?
Either Julio or Calvin.
All time?
All time.
He really biased. Damn.
I'm biased, man. Randy Moss I forgot about Randy too. Okay. So it's really a preference, man. And, praise to, Randy, T.O., Jerry. But I believe Calvin doesn't get enough, enough credit for what he did in 9-8 seasons that he played. Julio, Randy Moss just was an all-out beast. So it's really preference, man, in my opinion.
Okay, can't argue with your opinion. But let's get to this before we let you go. Tell us how you've incorporated Boat 24 by Gatorade into your off-season routine to jump over crossbars and stuff.
Well, it's their new recovery drink. So, after a workout, after a lift, after a run, I'm throwing one of those back and, reap the benefits during the season. No artificial flavors or sweeteners, and, the watermelon water helped me recover.
Hey, does Bolt 24 help you after you hit Scottsdale on a night out or not? I'm just wondering.
I need Bolt 240 after the Scottsdale night if you're doing it right. But go ahead, DK, keep balling, man, and hopefully continue success and health to you, big dog.
My dog.
That's right. Thank you.
All right, coming up, Tom Brady can win his 7th ring Sunday, but we'll tell you if he has to reach GOAT status for the Bucs to beat the Chiefs. That's next. Speak for yourself. Black History Month is a perfect time to reflect on all of our black heroes. To change the world, you must first change your world. And no one has changed my world more than my father, Charles Vernon Wiley. A man who has seen a lot of change in this world, from a childhood in the segregated South in the 1940s to present day as a recent retiree after 45 years of service. No matter what would occur over the years, my father would highlight what should always stay the same, which is to focus on family as your foundation. In a world seeking to invent newer products and better things, it's important to recognize those who are simply committed to producing better people. Salute to my hero that showed me that more action comes with less words, and for highlighting the most powerful creator of change in this world, the foundation of it all that produces people of character, the family. Salute, Pop Duke.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Tom Brady is about to play in his NFL record 10th Super Bowl and can win his 7th on Sunday, so it's no surprise he's called the GOAT. Brady led the Bucs to their best record since 2002, but in Tampa's 5 losses this year, Brady has thrown 8 touchdown passes with 9 interceptions. So Marcellus, do the Bucs need GOAT Tom Brady in order to beat the Chiefs?
Yes, they need GOAT Tom Brady, but people need to understand what GOAT Tom Brady really looks like in terms of performance, because it's not always the greatest performances by the GOAT in Tom Brady. So a little play on the words there, because Tom Brady, think about it, in his 6 Super Bowl wins, 3 of them he had a sub-100 passer rating. So if you look at Tom Brady in these magical moments that he sits there with the confetti falling down and Lombardi trophy in hand, it's not always because Tom Brady carried the team over the hump. Let's talk about his first Super Bowl, where he scored 20 points and had an 86 passer rating and had 1 touchdown and no interception. Oh, that was his first one. Okay, let's go to his last one then, when he had no touchdowns and 1 interception and a 71 passer rating, scoring 13 points and a win. GOAT Tom Brady in this situation, going against the Chiefs, is simple. No turnovers. Or if you're going to turn the ball over, do what you've been doing, that calculated pseudo punt. 3rd down on your own territory, launch it. Mike Evans, go get it. If you don't, it's like a punt to us. And that's the way that they're going to go out there and risk it for the biscuit. So I'm looking at Tom Brady being his GOAT status on the field, but not necessarily perfect in his GOAT performance. So yeah, still be Tom Brady, still be the GOAT, but that doesn't mean perfection, but it still means success.
It better be darn near close to perfection, big dog. They need GOAT Tom Brady, but they need the upper echelon of GOAT Tom Brady. I don't know about this poor man's GOAT that can't really badge.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes? Poor man's GOAT?
I don't know about that.
Patrick Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes is a young GOAT.
A Billy Kid?
Yeah.
Billy
You got
Kid?
that GOAT that gives you food poisoning. That's that GOAT me. Not that Tom Brady. That high-end GOAT Tom Brady. Think about it, big dog self.
What?
Mahomes, 37-1. If you score 28 or fewer, you know what it is. You know I'm coming back at you with that stat.
Are we playing in the Super Bowl or 38 regular season games?
One,
Okay.
you scored 28 or fewer. Now, good news for Tom Brady and the Bucs, and you already knew this. The Bucs have scored 30 or more in every playoff game. So that stat is seemingly irrelevant. Acho, why would you bring it up? Only because no team has ever scored more than 30 points 4 straight times in playoff history. So if the Chiefs and Mahomes 37-1, if you don't put up them points, and Tom Brady has somehow, some way, found a way to put up 30 each playoff game thus far, but we ain't never seen it done, particularly because to play in them 4 games, you're playing in the wild card, then the divisional, then the championship, and then if you're lucky, you get to the Super Bowl. They're going to need GOAT Tom Brady, and he's going to need to be nearly flawless to have a chance to beat the Chiefs. But let's bring in an offensive expert, NFL analyst, Greg Jennings. So, Greg, talk to me. Do the Bucs need GOAT Tom Brady to beat the Chiefs?
Yeah, they absolutely do need GOAT Tom Brady to beat the Chiefs. And they've had GOAT Tom Brady all season long. So nothing changes. I'm with Marcellus on this. It's not about trying to be perfect. It's just doing your job. And when we go back to the history of Tom Brady and in the New England Patriots, and what was that mantra, that slogan that we always heard come out of Bill Belichick's mouth, and then it reciprocated throughout the locker room and the players. Do your job. That's what makes Tom Brady so special. That's why he's the GOAT. He understands in every situation. When we saw him in New Orleans against the Saints, he did his job. When we saw him even a couple weeks ago or last week against the Packers, he did his job. Did he have 2 turnovers? He did. He did. Did he have interceptions? Yes, he did. But did he do enough to make sure that his team was able to win? And one thing I heard Tom Brady say, he said, I just don't want to be the reason we lose. And so that doesn't mean I have to put on the pressure of myself to play perfect. I hear you, Acho. Everybody's saying Tom Brady has to be flawless. Well, what happens if he is flawless and the other guys aren't? It still probably doesn't work out. So everyone needs to do their job. And that's what has made Tom Brady so special watching him this season with this Buccaneers team is he's brought that presence, that GOAT presence, that GOAT or aroma, that GOAT just aura about what he does. And that's what he needs to do on Sunday. Nothing more, nothing less.
Hey,
Nothing more?
that's a fan of the show. He watched T.O.'s segment yesterday talking about aroma.
He said GOAT aroma.
Yeah, nothing more. I told you try to go somewhere. Yeah.
I got to go there, Sal, because y'all sleep on this fact, and I respect both of y'all so much, which is the only reason I'm lovingly correcting y'all. I'm lovingly correcting y'all. Since 2018, Chiefs have won 5 of their 7 games by 11-plus, people. Chiefs ain't just beating y'all. They beating y'all down in the playoffs. Even against the Niners last year, it was close until it wasn't. So if y'all know what the Chiefs are about and they bout that action boss, you know it's not only like they're going to sit here and toy with you. When they beat you, they likely going to beat you down. How do y'all think that the Buccaneers are going to waltz in here and hope that their defense forces a plethora of turnovers again like they did against the Saints? This ain't Taylor Heineke, people. This ain't an ancient Drew Brees, people. This is Patrick
now he ancient.
Mahomes.
Now he ancient.
This is
in the regular
Patrick
season,
Mahomes.
he wasn't ancient.
He was hurt. He was hurt. Even worse.
No, he wasn't hurt in week 1. Oh, here we go. Acho, I love you so much. But can you get off of the extremes and come with me to the nuance, the gray area, the silver, where Tom Brady knows to just do his job. Tom Brady knows he's thrown for over 500 yards and 3 touchdowns and no interceptions in the Super Bowl. And lost. And then he also knows that he went out there and just put up 13 points, no touchdowns, 1 interception, and won. So Tom Brady knows, more importantly, it's about just winning the game, no matter how that looks. Stop with these shots at the GOAT when you're trying to now pump up the little kid, the Billy GOAT in this situation of Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is not perfect. Patrick Mahomes is not close to perfect, especially when you want to talk about his 1 Super Bowl performance. Must I repeat? His quarterback rating was 78 in that Super Bowl performance. Must I repeat, he didn't have more touchdowns than interceptions, 2 and 2. Must I repeat that people were saying for 3.5 quarters, getting outplayed by trade block Jimmy G. So now I'm not going to hear that you got to go out there and be perfect if you're Tom Brady, who already has 6 rings, doing it with numbers and doing it not so much with numbers. We just saw him 2 weeks ago. 18-point lead against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Sub-75 passer rating. And threw 3 interceptions. But like Greg said, man, it's nuance. Just go out there and do your job and don't be the reason that you lose the game.
It's funny. It's funny to me how we're on this side. I believe you guys have been to what, like 6 or 7 Super Bowls yourselves?
Yeah. What do you mean, as an attendant?
Oh, no. I mean, as a player.
Oh, hell no. Not a none. I can't even make a O.
I was like, who are you talking about? I was like, who on set?
My bad.
Who on? He must
That guy behind us.
So you haven't been to any. Oh, okay.
I watched.
And this guy is going to be playing in his 10th. And we want to tell him what he needs to do. Like, he needs to just continue doing what he's been doing. And I asked Tom Brady this during the regular season because we find some way to get this image when they're down or his team is down and he's on that sideline and we've all seen it. His head is down. He's on the bench and no one's around him. And it's like, what is going through the GOAT's mind? And you know what he said? He said, I'm telling myself I can't get 17 points all in one play. I can't come back all in one play. So do the little things. Take it one play at a time. That's how special he is. It doesn't matter how the opposition looks, what mountain is in front of him. He's going to take it one step at a time. And that is the ultimate goal when you're trying to reach the top. If you miss a step because you're trying to take a leap, you run the risk of falling down even further. And that's what Tom Brady has done his entire career, which is why we're seeing him going to be playing in his 10th Super Bowl, already having amassed 6 rings.
Hey, so I'm still trying to figure out who G was talking to when he said.
Yeah, I
was confused.
You can't combine us for a wild card win.
I saw some faint Super Bowl champions, but I realized y'all ain't done that.
Chill out,
Flex, Greg, flex.
Watch your mouth. No, I think it's this. I'm not telling, clearly Tom Brady has to do whatever it takes to win. You know that, G. Marcellus, you're saying that? Yeah. I believe that. But what I'm saying is what it will take is Tom Brady's best. Right? He has to do whatever it takes. I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, Tom Brady, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it. This is the in between. No, but what it will take is Tom Brady's best. We saw week 12, they played each other. The Buccaneers weren't close to winning that game. It was a 3-point game, but after the first quarter, the Buccaneers never had the ball with the chance to take the lead. So Tom Brady, them 3 touchdowns was nice, but them 2 picks cost you now. So I'm not saying, Tom Brady, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to run, No, it will just take Tom Brady's best. If y'all think for 1 second, for 1 iota of a count, that Tom Brady will get away with throwing 3 interceptions in the second half like he did against the Packers, y'all big sleep.
We sleep?
Slumbered.
You sleep.
Drooling too.
You need to wake up.
Crusties in your eye, Marcellus. You getting that kind of sleep.
You fell asleep on your computer, and you should have stayed awake and Googled some of the games that Patrick Mahomes has lost against less than stellar play by the opposing quarterbacks. But I was awake, and I was Googling it, and I found it. What did my track coach tell me when I was in my national record holding and national record setting season about competition? You remember, Acho? You don't remember?
What'd he say?
He said, don't get PO'd. And he didn't mean pissed off. He said, psyched out. He said, Marcellus, all I need you to do is run your race. You don't have to do anything extra to beat those dudes. I don't care where you see them, city, state, nationals, or internationals. And I remember that like he said it yesterday because it applies to this situation. I give you these names and I give you these numbers. Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game by throwing more interceptions than touchdowns and a 77 passer rating. How did Mahomes lose? Okay, Jacoby Brissett went out there and threw more interceptions than touchdowns. No touchdowns, matter of fact, and a 61 passer rating, Carson Wentz style, and still beat Patrick Mahomes. What about Deshaun Watson? 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, more interceptions than touchdowns, and a 77 passer rating, and still beat him. The problem is when you go against Patrick Mahomes, so many guys think they got to do more than they have to. And then they lose the game before they even play the game. You know this, Acho. You know this, Greg. Most of the game is played right up here. Coming up, Bruce Arians is making his Super Bowl debut as a head coach. We'll tell you if we have any concerns about him on the big stage. Next, speak for yourself. Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Bruce Arians said yesterday that this year is his most rewarding in coaching. Well, on Sunday, he'll hit a big milestone. Arians is making his debut as a head coach in the Super Bowl after going 3 times as an assistant. His opponent, Andy Reid, is making his 3rd appearance as a head coach. Greg is back, but Acho, do you have any concerns Bruce Arians won't be ready for the Super Bowl stage?
Yeah, you have to have concerns, and it's only because we've seen Bruce Arians in these moments earlier this year do some iffy things. Y'all remember the second time he played the Saints? Remember, this is the second time he's playing the Chiefs. Remember the second time he played the Saints? It was a big, pivotal game. You need that win. You need to make sure they don't take control of the division.
Oh, that mattered.
It did at the time.
That really mattered. No, what time? This time? Not this time.
Did it matter at the time?
No.
Are we just going to act like it was completely irrelevant?
I'm not acting. I'm telling you the truth. It didn't matter.
Okay, so it was a prime time game because it didn't matter. My bad. My mistake. Yeah. I'm sorry, executives. It didn't matter. The game didn't matter. Marcellus, apparently. Nonetheless, in that game, what happened? Bruce Arians forgot how to run the ball. 4 carries, Marcellus. NFL history, the fewest carries in a game ever. What happened the first time the Chiefs played the Bucs? Bruce Arians, 12 carries with that dynamic backfield. Leonard Fournette, Marcellus just told me, leads all playoff offensive players in yards from scrimmage.
Yes.
And he only got 3 carries, and Ronald Jones only got 9? So Bruce Arians, when we saw you in that game that apparently mattered to very rich people, far richer than I, when we saw Bruce Arians in that game, he started acting a little funny. Then we saw Bruce Arians in that next meaningful game against the Chiefs. He started acting a little funny. I am a little bit concerned that Bruce Arians might start acting a little funny because he's shown us a tendency to do so. Now, maybe this game all of a sudden won't matter in retroactive history to Marcellus and Greg Jennings, but the 2 previous games mattered. This game matters as well.
Oh, this matter. Where the word matter comes so much into our lexicon of late? I wonder. Let's talk about first-time Super Bowl head coaches and how they've had success, because I am not concerned about Bruce Arians being on the Super Bowl stage this year, this weekend. One, if there was ever a Super Bowl, Acho, Greg, to kind of just, dip your toe in and kind of get your feet wet and have your first appearance in, it's this Super Bowl, because the wattage is lower for this Super Bowl in terms of distractions and the normal work routine that you have to go through preparing for a Super Bowl. Let's just say there are not as many bright lights as before in years past. But let's talk about those coaches that give me confidence why Bruce Arians, who's been there before, but just as an assistant, he won't shy away from this moment. How did Doug Peterson do in 2017 when he went to the Super Bowl the first time? Acho, that's your team? Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought so. What about Gary Kubiak when he went in 2015 first time? What about Pete Carroll first time he went, 2013? I got a long list. I got Harbaugh, I got McCarthy, I got Payton, I got Tomlin. I can go there. The point is, why are you so shook on Bruce Arians because of what he did in the regular season? Acho, you're the person that tells me that you don't learn from experiences if you say that, because look at this situation. Have you guys ever been to
Put your finger down. Put your finger down, Greg.
It manicured, too. That boy got money. Have you guys ever been to Disneyland and been on Space Mountain? You guys
Yeah.
Okay. First time you get on Space Mountain, you're like, yo, it's dark in here. And then they take you there. They take you there. You be like, what the hell? I can't see jack. And it was so fun, you go back on it. But the second time, something changes.
Correct.
Your eyes adjust.
Correct.
You're like, damn it, I can see the tracks coming. So then you try to do this so you don't see it, but you can still see it. You can still feel it. You've been through it. Why is it when you go on a trip somewhere, coming back just feels shorter? Because you've been through it. Bruce Arians has been through this as an assistant. He's going to be fine now as a head coach.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you're saying, Marcellus. And to your point, Acho, I get what you're saying. And I was once on that bandwagon when they were getting ready to play the New Orleans Saints. If you recall, Marcellus, I was saying, oh, man, it's going to be the same thing. The New Orleans Saints are just better.
Both of y'all.
But they made some adjustments. They learned from their experiences.
Yes.
And so I must learn from mine. I'm not making that same mistake. Yes. And when I say I trust Bruce Arians, it is because I don't just trust Bruce Arians. I trust his process, his way of thinking, his approach of delegating and trusting Todd Bowles, his defensive coordinator, trusting his offensive coordinator and Byron Leftwich, trusting his players to be themselves and understanding that there's nothing that I need to do that's going to help us win any more than what I've already done. I can prepare you. Look, to Marcellus's point, There's so much in their favor this time around. You've watched film. You've played them this season, so you have the film that you need. You can assess. You can self-assess and see what you did wrong. You can also see what worked that you did. And so when you have those at your disposal, it's going to be a better second chance. I play golf. You guys probably have played golf in your life. Mm-hmm. Off the first tee, how many times you see guys take that second ball? Quite a bit, because after that first swing, you're like, oh, man, let me get this next one. The next one typically is always better because you're more relaxed. You're loose. You know what you've done and you just experienced and it did not work. So you don't do that same thing all over again.
I respect that. All I know is this, Marcellus. Being there and as an assistant is very different than being there as the head man.
I'll give you that.
We're going to see. Coming up, Brett Favre says Deshaun Watson should just do his job and stay in Houston. Uh-oh. Do that. We'll tell you if we agree with his advice. Next. Speak. Welcome back. Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson. He already requested a trade from the squad, but Houston is not budging. The Texans GM said they have, quote, zero interest in trading him. That has not stopped reports that Watson does not want to play another down in Houston. Well, Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre shared his advice for Watson's next move. Y'all take a listen.
You get paid a ton of money to do a certain job and just do it and let the chips fall where they may. I think we make too much money to voice an opinion, but I'm not saying he's wrong. I think it's a different day and time, and it'll be interesting to see how the organization handles it.
Now look, Sel.
Okay.
Particularly during Black History Month. Not month. Particularly during Black History Month. So I don't know how I feel about Brett Favre telling Deshaun Watson you get paid to do a job. But we get paid to do a job. I'm going to do my job respectfully and properly and ask you this question. Marcellus Wiley, do you agree with Brett Favre's advice for Deshaun Watson?
Yes, I do. Duck Wiley. It's the third day of Black History Month, and I'm saying I agree with Brett Favre saying shut up and throw the ball. But I do agree with Brett Favre saying, hey, Deshaun, look. Okay, Brett, let's get this. I know what you're saying. Maybe this isn't the way you wanted to say it. And I will translate for you because Brett Favre got caught in what a lot of people get caught up in PC culture, trying to cover your bases instead of just saying it with your chest. And he should have said it with his chest. But I will because I don't give a damn how y'all feel about me. Brett Favre's just basically saying, look, dog, you made $156 million on one contract. You know what that tells me? That you have the ear of ownership and the belief of ownership. They do not invest that much money in one person unless they believe in that person. So, since you have their ear, why are you going about this process so messy if you have their ear? You know what a duck does? I take my son to the pond almost every weekend. Nice hiking place, and we see ducks. My son just loves feeding the ducks. They come out the water, and they're smooth. You know how they glide on the surface. Deshaun Watson, you're a professional. On the surface, be smooth, brother. Public facing, be smooth. Be a franchise quarterback. Under the water, underneath, with your agent, yeah. We're going to work. We're going to get this. We're going to fix this situation. And that's why I don't understand why Deshaun is being the bad cop when you're supposed to use your agent to be the bad cop and you're the good cop. He has tremendous equity around the league, especially in the community of Houston. And he's just giving that away, giving it all back. And this is the reason why I have disdain for this process and the way it's happening. One, I've seen people who have way messier situations make it less messy than this. Way less messy, like bad situations, real risks, and they still handle business accordingly. Matthew Stafford comes to mind, how he didn't trash Detroit on the way out of Detroit. Now, let's talk about why I really have an issue with this. Imagine if you're not Deshaun Watson. It's Black History Month. All you brothers and all you others who don't have the same character, at least in perception, as Deshaun Watson, the same equity, the same performance level. And then ownership starts to look around and say, if Deshaun Watson can't be trusted to just be a franchise quarterback and professional, Who can we trust? You better watch out how much you got them pom-poms out for this dude to go out there, be in his feelings and just say whatever he wants and take people off social media, because there will be a consequence for those that are lesser.
But let's do this. Let's not vilify Deshaun Watson for not doing
vilifying
it. Meaning this, Deshaun Watson ain't actually said nothing. He ain't said nothing bad. He ain't done nothing bad. He ain't done nothing wrong. He ain't said nothing wrong.
I am an athlete.
The only thing he did was omit the Texans from his page and whatnot. But last time I checked your profile, my profile, I don't necessarily see FS1 Speak for Yourself host on there. So just because you
it is. Maybe. If not, it will be.
Just because you omit your employer doesn't mean you're omitting your employment.
Omit or delete?
Just because. Okay, mine was there and I had to change mine.
Why you change? Because you Oprah's friend now?
Change mine. Just because you would omit your employer doesn't mean you omit the employment or the desire to be employed there. But let's go here.
Okay, let's go.
Brett Favre, I have an issue with it because it's wrong, right? What he was saying was wrong. He said, Deshaun Watson, you get paid to do your job. Do your job. But Deshaun Watson has fully done his job thoroughly, completely. He's executed his job to the highest levels. I look at it. First in passing yards per attempt this year, second in passer rating, second in yards a game, third in completion percentage. He did his job at the top 3 level of everybody that did their job in the whole NFL. 41 quarterbacks do 125 passes or more. So Deshaun Watson ranks in the top, 10 percentile? The top 5 percentile of doing his job? But he's not playing right now because the Texans organization didn't do theirs. So you have a job to do on the show. You got to come on the show. You got to give your takes. You got to prepare for your takes, but you also have to give your takes. If you were to look up a stat during the show, you don't get a text or a call from our stat people. Shout out to Andy. You don't get a text saying, hey, Marcellus, don't do that. You just do your job. No, you're allowed to fully do your job, but also do someone else's if it's not going to compromise your ability to do your own. Deshaun Watson's doing his, and he's also trying to help do someone else's at the same time.
Yeah, but in the process, he's cutting off the water flow for everyone else because everyone else is going to have to get the drip, what's left, what's remaining from Deshaun Watson's collateral damage in this situation. Trust me when I say that, because you're telling me basically Deshaun has done his job so well that he can do someone else's as well. You can't serve 2 gods. I know your daddy told you that growing up. So, Deshaun, you better stay focused, man, especially this month. Wait till March 1st to pull all these shenanigans. Coming up, Jalen Hurts says he wants to take off next year. But we'll tell you if we're confident that will actually happen next. Speak for yourself as Acho changes his profile. Welcome back. Jalen Hurts was 1-3 in his rookie year after replacing Carson Wentz as the starter at the end of the season. He was asked yesterday who will be the Eagles starter next season, and he said he got his opportunity to get his feet wet, and he's working to, quote, take off next year. So, Acho,
take off.
Are you confident Jalen Hurts will take off next year?
Nah, man, I can't be confident for several reasons. I'm going to get straight to the point. Yeah. Number one, Jalen Hurts, you might not have the starting job. The Eagles want Carson Wentz to stop. You can overcome the odds, but they want him to start, 1, because they're paying him starting quarterback money.
Say it.
They want him to start, number 2, because they hired the head coach for Carson Wentz. Their head coach, Sirianni, was under Frank Reich. Frank Reich was coaching Carson Wentz during Carson Wentz's best year, to remind you all. So they hired your head coach for him to start, and they're paying him starting money. So they don't want you to start Jalen Hurts. They don't want you to win, if I'm being real. Yeah. That's my first issue. My second issue, contrary to popular belief, Jalen Hurts wasn't that good this year. In the 4-game sample size that we saw, Marcellus, 41 quarterbacks do 125 passes or more. Jalen Hurts ranks 41st out of the 41 in completion.
Is that bad?
I mean, it's not good. It's not good.
Okay.
So contrary to popular belief, Jalen Hurts is a starter. He was 1-3. I mean, again, I hate letting the truth get in the way of a good story. I hate when that has to happen. But the truth is Jalen Hurts, 5 passing touchdowns to 3 picks. Jalen Hurts, 77 passer rating. League average was 95. Jalen Hurts, 51.9% completion percentage. League average is around 63. Again, I apologize for telling y'all the truth. I know sometimes I got to coddle feelings, but the truth is I don't anticipate Jalen Hurts takes off next year.
Damn, we agree. I'm not confident either. But I believe in his abilities, but not his circumstances.
Thank you.
Not his opportunity. Look, they did hire his uncle to coach him as a quarterback coach, so that helps. But at the same time, big bank takes little bank in this situation. Wentz is just too expensive to sit. So At least Doug Peterson and his team thought that for 12 games, right? And it's interesting to hear Jalen Hurts not believing and not buying into his circumstances. I like this. What stands out to you when you hear someone say this? Trying to build those relationships with my guys. My. He said my ownership. You know when you're a rookie, you say the team, the guys. When you think it's yours, my. Like Johnny Gill, my. And he said this about this team because he believes that this is his team. And I think he's going to get an opportunity. I don't know what numbers you got. But remember, Jalen Hurts didn't start 4 games and finish 4 games. He started 4 and only finished 3. So let's talk about those 3 games where Hurts was allowed to play the whole game. Oh, fewer turnovers in 3 of those 4 starts. Carson Wentz, multiple turnovers in 6 of his 12 starts. I look at it simply. Jalen Hurts has put himself in position to do something, but we don't know if this going to happen. Kind of like our show right here. You famous, you younger, better looking, bestseller, but I make more money. I ain't going nowhere. Coming up, you don't want to miss what Uncle Jimmy has to say about his Chiefs as we get closer to the Super Bowl. I'm strong with you, bro. That's next. Speak for yourself. I am Carson Wentz. Before we go, Uncle Jimmy is here. He's just a few days away from the Super Bowl. So, Uncle, we know you're a huge Chiefs fan, so what do you have for us? You wait.
This is a song that I wrote that I call No Love. When I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall. Then all of a sudden, I have somebody call, telling me they need a team that's just like the Chiefs, a team that can play beyond your wildest belief. So here I go, giggling about this game. Now, we're not worried about the start. Homie, is you insane? Then the thought occurred. Yo, homie, damn what you heard. Tom Brady's going down. This fool's getting concerned because he gets no love. This ain't no bromance or romance. It's just so sweet. I can't wait till next year till we get the 3 feet. Y'all can get our ass, get mad and grumble. This was the WWE. We win the Royal Rumble.
Where the hook? Where the hook, though? This guy was born. You didn't know hook. Yeah, I need a hook. Like, you hear me?
LL needed love. I don't know what you need. You need help. So I need help. That's it.
You get no love.
You done scared every woman in your life away. Oh, my. Hey, that looks all right there. That's how I used to dress out there. You know what I'm saying? Before you was born, little boy. That's it for us. We'll see y'all tomorrow.